Coming up on Mountain News at 6, hundreds of people are still waiting for answers or benefits following the aftermath of the Eric C. Kahn Social Security scandal. And many laws have gone into effect in Kentucky this month, including one about the accessibility of a medicine used to help with congestion.
And tonight and tomorrow have been declared first alert weather days, and we'll talk about why coming up in a few minutes.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Rounds of showers and storms will continue through the week, and while we are not expecting any major flooding, some local high water issues can certainly not be ruled out. Meteorologist Eric Dean has the latest on this first alert weather day.
That's right, Steve. Good afternoon, everybody. And as you mentioned, we'll see one after another in terms of showers and thunderstorms push through. We'll actually talk about that coming up in the next check weather. But right now, all is quiet. Here's the latest with live pinpoint Doppler radar right now. And you're noticing over towards portions of Jackson, just to the south and west of Jackson and Owsley County, seeing a rogue thunderstorm. We'll go ahead and pinpoint this across portions of Owsley County, and you can see right there where you're seeing some heavy rain just to the south of Boonville, to the west of Cow Creek, seeing some heavy rain across portions of Highway 11. Then we'll move the map up just a little bit. You can see to the west of St. Helens, across portions of Highway 399, seeing some heavy rain. The good news, no lightning is being picked up at this hour. Right now, we're seeing temperatures in the 70s and 80s. We're at 81 in Hazard, 82 Jackson, 86 in Manchester, as well as Somerset. Monticello, one of the warm spots on the map, at 87 degrees. So let's go ahead and go zone by zone for tonight. We'll see temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s across the Cumberland Valley. Same story across the Kentucky River Valley, low 70s towards Campton, as well as Stanton and Irvin, upper 60s towards Boonville. Then the Big Sandy Valley calls for temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. Now, coming up in the first alert forecast, we're going to talk more about why we are issuing this alert day for tomorrow and what is behind us after this system. Steve.
All right, thank you very much, Eric. Along with their coverage of the storm system that's set to hit the mountains tonight, the National Weather Service in Jackson is preparing folks for what is to come. Many people in the mountains are a little fearful when the word flood comes up, with good reason. But Dustin Jordan of the National Weather Service in Jackson said flooding is not something the Weather Service is really too concerned about this time.
We have a storm system moving across the area, and then we have another potential storm system tonight that could actually produce some damaging wind gust even with it. And so those are the kinds of things we're watching.
Jordan says folks who live by streams and bodies of water should remove any items that you would not want washed away due to the possible increase in water levels. A West Virginia man is facing charges after a deadly crash in Pike County. Last Friday, deputies with Pikeville PD responded to the crash on US 119. Police say Chad Blackburn had been under the influence behind the wheel and crashed into another vehicle, resulting in one person being killed and another being seriously hurt. After Blackburn agreed to a blood test, police found a substance suspected to be heroin. Blackburn was taken to the Pike County Detention Center. The name of the person who died has still not been released. A Clay County man is facing assault charges after he reportedly assaulted another person. Clay County Sheriff's deputies received a call from 911 about that incident yesterday. A victim who had been in an ambulance being treated for an open gash wound on his head told police Billy Buttery assaulted him and threw pieces of asphalt at his head. Police later found Buttery walking along Paces Creek Road before arresting him. Governor Andy Beshear kept busy during the weekend. On Saturday, he was the keynote speaker at the Liberty and Justice celebration in Iowa. Yesterday, the governor traveled to Forsyth County in Georgia, a county that former President Donald Trump won with about the same margin as Beshear won Kentucky. Beshear, leaving his post as governor to be vice president potentially, would leave a vacancy in the state's highest office. Senior advisor Rocky Atkins says nothing is definitive right now.
He loves being governor of this great Commonwealth. That's the job he continues to do while he's being vetted, and it's something that's exciting for all of us.
Earlier today, Governor Beshear spoke at the National VFW Convention in Louisville, but did not directly address the VP speculation. Daniel Cameron is set to speak at Fancy Farm this weekend. The former Kentucky Attorney General and Republican gubernatorial candidate is reportedly speaking on behalf of former President Donald Trump's campaign. Cameron lost last year's governor's race to Democrat Andy Beshear. The 144th Fancy Farm picnic is set for Saturday, August 3rd in Graves County. In Whitley County, the health department is having mechanical issues with its mobile health clinic. Because of that, there will be no mobile wheels today or Wednesday this week. The Williamsburg Clinic will be open for appointments tomorrow through Thursday. You can call the health department at 606-549-3380 to make an appointment. The department apologizes for the inconvenience. Earlier this month, House Bill 386 went into effect. The law eased regulations in the Commonwealth on how much pseudoephedrine one person can buy. WYMT's Madison Carmouche has more about the impacts within the addiction community.
In 2005, a law was passed in the Commonwealth to restrict sales of medicines containing pseudoephedrine, a key ingredient in methamphetamine. But as the recovery community changes, so does the law.
If people are wanting to make methamphetamine, they're going to make methamphetamine one way or the other.
The law formerly allowed Kentuckians to only buy a 3-month supply or 24 grams throughout 1 year, and no more than 3 packages at a time.
So pseudoephedrine, obviously, when they make methamphetamine, that's how they synthesize it down, is via pseudoephedrine. But there are some other behind-the-counter products that you can't make methamphetamine from, but it's actually a pseudophed-based product, and it's just like how it's chemically made up.
Greg Burke with Beacons of Hope says the original law was a Band-Aid for the much larger problem, addiction.
I don't think we can ever, legislate ourselves out of bad situations. I don't think we can incarcerate ourselves out of bad situations. We need to get to the fundamental issues that are out there.
Burke adds the issue shines a light on community accountability.
When they did that, there was less community involvement. Everybody looked down and they were trying to just shun everyone and put them out of the light. Now everybody understands that you can't do that anymore. You have to face it full on, meet people where they are, and then try to help them recover at that point.
The sponsoring representative, Robert Duvall of Bowling Green, said Kentucky's former pseudoephedrine gram limit was 78% more restrictive than the rest of the country. In Perry County, Madison Carmouche, WYMT Mountain News.
The original law went into effect in 2005, but parameters were strengthened in 2012. Kentucky coroners made their case for a pay raise earlier today. They testified before the Interim Joint Committee on Local Government, laying out the numbers. They say back in 1995, coroners' pay was omitted from House Bill 810, and since then there has been an inconsistency with pay. The Madison County coroner says the compensation difference between what the other 4 county constitutional offices and what coroners make is vast.
I think those 4 offices make $141,000 a year, and I make $60,000. My job is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Cornelison says some coroners make less than $5,000 a year and others make $0 because they work out of funeral homes. The coroners say it would take between $9 and $10 million to bring up coroner pay to an acceptable level across the state. The former clients of Eric C. Kahn are still living with the consequences of the disbarred attorney's Social Security scandal. But an update provided this week by attorneys could be good news for some of those impacted people. WYMT's Buddy Forbes explains.
Former clients of Eric C. Kahn received an update Monday on the ongoing battle for their benefits.
That, hey, there's some hope on the horizon. Something, frankly, we haven't had much of in the last 9+ years.
Attorney Ned Pillersdorf and representatives from Apple Red Legal Aid hosted a news conference to reach out to the nearly 2,000 people who have been waiting for answers.
These people are going through major stress, and the uncertainty about what's going to happen with their benefits in the future. I mean, it keeps people up at night. It really causes a lot of problems.
Pillersdorf says the legal team met with the Social Security Administration earlier this year and received a response from its new leadership Friday.
We've had thousands of former Kahn clients who were notified they'd be put through hearings 6 years ago, and they've been in limbo. And thanks to what Commissioner O'Malley did is we know at least 1,200 of those people don't have anything to worry about. And the people have got these terrible overpayment letters. He's waived all that.
Those 700 of those nearly 2,000 clients will still see some sort of follow-up regarding their benefits. It is expected to be less of a hearing and more of a review to see if they still meet the medical requirements.
While I wish that the nightmare was over for everyone, I'm glad that for a significant number of people that haven't had hearings, that they won't have to worry about that.
Attorneys credit much of the progress to the ongoing battle through Apple Red's volunteer network. But they say the recent Apple TV series, some encouragement from Governor Andy Beshear, and many other factors likely led to a shift in the narrative.
And for the first time, Commissioner O'Malley has taken steps that recognizes their victims and they're not co-conspirators.
As they keep pushing for progress. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Pillersdorf says one of the hardest things about updating the former clients he represents is the fact that they still do not know who many of them are because of SSA privacy measures. So he hopes to keep spreading the word so they can stay informed and reach out as needed.
All right, weather headlines for tonight. We'll see a wet finish to the month of July. The temperatures will start to go back up, and August begins Thursday, but we have a first alert weather day out for tonight and to tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Stay with us.
And one organization is still working to save materials that were damaged following the 2022 flood.